All right. Well, I think we're right at 11, so we can get started. Just to introduce myself, my name is Chad. I handle most of the overarching operations stuff at Acadia. And I think some worlds that would be kind of a COO type role, but at Acadia, of course, we just focus on doing good stuff for good people, and so titles don't matter as much. But I sit in that seat, and so with that, I get lots of insights into some really cool things that amazing people are doing. And so I'm very passionate about my team and what my team is growing in and experiencing. And so, of course, AI is one of those areas that's just changing our worlds. I believe, much as I think probably everybody on this call does, that it is a kind of a third massive shift that we'll see in our lifetime. I was fortunate enough to be in the renaissance of the internet experience when I was in elementary school. We got our first Apple IIgs computer at home and hitting the dial-up every day just to experiment with the internet. And then I was lucky enough to get an iPhone when they came out. And so that was kind of the second big revolution, I think, of my lifetime. And so I think we're in the midst of a third big one in AI and what it's doing. And I think it's doing a lot of very unique things. And I love all the conversations. We got an amazing Slack channel at Acadia just dedicated to what cool shit are you doing with AI this week. And so I love going and just watching and seeing all the stuff and amazing things that people are doing. But with that said, we also have noticed kind of the flip side of that. And so I'm going to go ahead to the next slide. I want to throw this out to you guys, just this number of 10%. It seems 10% may be a small percentage, right? But what this is the percentage of leads that came to Acadia last month, indicating that they found us via ChatGPT, right? And so just getting that data point from our team and understanding that, hey, people are finding us by asking questions in ChatGPT. It's gotten me really thinking about AI in a little bit of a different light, and one that I think is a conversation we've really tried to start to spur internally at Acadia, and we're hoping to bring it to a larger audience today and kick that off with launching a white paper just to start the discussion. But it's obvious why it's gotten to be so popular, right? ChatGPT has grown to 1 million users in 5 days, and that's just an amazing feat, and it just shows how much people believe in the technology and believe that it's going to benefit them and make their lives better. And so we spent kind of a lot of times looking into, well, what is driving answers in ChatGPT, right? Like AI, is the future of it, is it going to start to, I don't know, become this mega influencer almost of where it's answering questions and having conversations and dropping hints about products and services. And if that's the case, then how do we make sure we show up more in those, especially when things are indexing in different ways and using different sources, and there's a lot of different ways. And so how do we really focus on the big ones and the big opportunities that can have an impact for the future of, well, for us, our product being an agency, right, for our product, but more importantly, because the core of our mission is to create opportunity, meaning, and connections for our communities, and that community being a huge part of our client community. We really care about it because we think it's going to drive opportunities, meaning, and connections for our clients. And so we've really dove in deep into this topic and really started to try to put some things together. So yeah, so what is driving these things? Why, when I typed in, hey, send me some crock pot meals, why was Aldi actually one of the places that told me to go shop and pick up these items, right? Because that would be something Aldi might be really interested in knowing and how to impact it. And so we spent a lot of time with that, and we put together an agenda for us to breeze through a little bit today. But like I said, more importantly, we wanted to compile all of that into a white paper that we want to make available to you. We also want to provide you with a checklist to get the conversation going, not just about how AI is going to be the next best assistant to you, but how is it going to be the mega influencer for you, and how you can take that as an opportunity, right? Preparedness meets the opportunity, and that's where luck lies, right? Like, we're not waiting around being lucky. We want to be prepared for that. And we believe that this sets kind of a tone for how to be prepared for that. So I'm going to, like I said, I sit in a nice operations seat, so I meet a lot of cool people. So I'm going to pass it off to a lot of the smarter, more intelligent, better looking people at Acadia than me to really run through a lot of the content here. But one of the big kind of connections that we started to just draw from it is the parallels from SEO and how AI is learning. There's a huge, I think, connection to the way you're indexing and learning information that seems very similar there. And so that was one area where we really wanted to lean in and start. And so I'll pass it off to Scott to talk a little bit about, how we've learned on how AI sources and learns, and then more importantly, how SEO starts to play a role in that. Scott.
Thanks, Chad. And I'm taking inspiration from your beard to start my own. So you are equally cool. So what is driving SEO is something that we think also applies to what is driving AI responses, right? So you have your search engine as a channel is bringing back answers and results. It's just getting more and more detailed over time. So we have the index where Google has crawled and stored all this enormous information, and how it connects to each other. It has this knowledge graph, which is, if you think about, if you go a layer below Wikipedia, you're going to see how all of the things are connected, that it knows that this brand is also a bank, which also owns this company, right? It looks at those relationships between things and starts to put together kind of facts and assumptions in one place. And so with AI, you have the learning of that happening, but you also have this net new sort of presentation layer with ChatGPT, with the large language models that are more of a studious butler giving you the best answer. So if the search engine before was like the expert librarian prioritizing information to bring you back the right answer, it's now able to do so in a very suave and smooth fashion. And so in addition to the traditional things that we see influencing SEO, though, we're also seeing, for especially like local businesses, sort of reputation playing a bigger and bigger role. And reputation comes from basically how people are talking about you, in addition to how you talk about yourself. And so some of that's going to come from social media, and Margot's going to talk about that and how that plays a role. But I'd love to just take you through an example of something that, Chad's example earlier when we kicked off about, creating a menu. We see more and more people are using ChatGPT and these chat agents like Bard, basically being a partner in your decision-making process, right? So if you have a complicated decision to make, you're not picking which, pack of chewing gum to pick out at the checkout. You're picking something like, I'm going to invest a couple $1,000s in a vacation or take my family somewhere. This example is for, planning a trip to Portugal. So the example here is, making an itinerary for Melillas, Portugal, prioritizing unique Instagrammable locations. So there's a lot packed into that statement to start to unpack, and a search engine with its understanding of natural language would start to pick that apart. And some of the things you see here are itinerary, trip, Melillas, Portugal, unique, Instagrammable. So all these are qualifiers. And so when you think about the unique and standing apart, you see this Condé Nast Traveler magazine for the best new hotels in the world. It's a trusted source, but it's also recent. So it's new, a new hotel versus, say, the Hilton property that's in central Portugal, or central Melillas here. So the reputation piece, though, you can see comes from Booking.com. We've seen for our own clients as well, like Yelp reviews playing a fact in determining like the types of places that are brought back in the chat results. And then you see on the far right, it's what everyone else is saying about you, right? But then it's how you talk about yourself, and you're using the language that your audience is going to search for you, but also ultimately converse about what they're trying to do, which is to book a unique vacation. So talking about yourself here really matters equally to all of the other things and what people are saying about you. And with that said, I think it's a good handoff point to talk about what are other people saying in social to my great colleague Margot.
Thanks, Scott. Hi, everyone. I'm Margot Eddy, head of social here at Acadia. We'll continue the hotel example, but I'll back up a bit. While we don't believe that most AI graphs are pulling from social today, what we do know is that social drives culture and culture drives web content. So we talk about a small example in the white paper about language, the terms YOLO, FOMO, examples of things that have started on social and created a movement beyond onto the web and, even further beyond into our lives. So at Acadia, for the social team, we really focus on campaigns and building a presence on social that can expand beyond the social platforms. Red Roof Inn is an example. We're very proud to partner with Red Roof Inn, and we're on a mission to enable them to be the pet friendliest hotel on social media. We created Red Rufus, their mascot here, and Red Rufus is not only the face of Red Roof on TikTok, where we've garnered close to 80,000 followers just in the last year, but Red Rufus has allowed us to extend the conversation beyond social. We've won awards for this work, and we've gained press knowledge kind of around the work as well. So when you're searching Red Roof on Google, this is what pops up, which is really exciting. So in terms of social, and when you're thinking about your social strategy, the way to be proactive around AI and being indexed for AI is thinking about award-worthy content, encouraging conversations that extend beyond social, and also encouraging those reviews. Like Scott mentioned, social is such a place for reviews. And so starting there and then moving forward and seeing where we go with it. I'll pass it back to you, Kiri.
Great, yeah, and I think that's a really good point. We don't know for sure that the current ingesting that these AI models are doing around social, but that could change in the future. We could see more social forward AI models in the future too. So I want to talk about retail. I'm Kiri Masters. I'm the head of retail strategy at Acadia, and my world is Amazon, Walmart, Instacart, Target, etc. So this is where I live and think about. And so for retailers, we actually see some great use cases coming forward in this way, where I heard someone say that if there's a text box on the internet now, soon enough there's going to be conversational AI added to it, right? The way that we have historically searched for things using keywords like foot bunion or green juice powder or something like that. We're not going to necessarily search that way in the future. It will be as we get used to these conversational ways of talking and asking questions, asking for recommendations. Retail is one of the first use cases that we see for that. And so the pioneer here is actually Instacart. They already have a conversational chat model in their app. You can use either traditional search or conversational chat, and the results are very different. So I actually found, when I looked for some ideas for lunchbox meals, the results I got from the AI were what you see on the screen here. They were suitable, they were helpful. It was sandwiches, it was Lunchables, it was wraps and things like that. When I used a similar search in the traditional search model on Instacart, said lunchbox meal ideas, it shared back with me these like raw chicken kebabs that are definitely not lunchbox suitable. So I share that to show that Instacart is doing a really nice job here. They launched this application earlier in the year, and we've seen from job listings from Amazon that they're looking to do something with conversational AI on their site to make it more user-friendly and all of that for Amazon customers. If you follow this industry closely, you would have also seen a very recent change where Amazon's aggregating customer reviews and pulling out insights from those and sharing them as context when people are searching on Amazon as well. So what can we learn from the very early days of conversational AI on retail? I see there's three things that brands should really start thinking about now. One is the product attributes in the back end. And retailer by retailer, they all place different levels of importance on the back end attributes. Walmart, for example, very, very important to Walmart that all the back-end attributes are completed. It's a key part of their search engine. And so I would imagine that's going to be a key part of their conversational AI as well. Then we also have the front-end content, so the things people would actually see when they land on a product page. That could also be where you're including keywords, to Scott's point as well, not just the functional keywords, but some other brand attributes that you would like the AI to associate with your product or brand. And then finally, customer reviews as well. Looking at this sort of writing on the wall from Amazon, this is the very first conversational AI feature that they've rolled out. It's around customer reviews. And that tells us that customer reviews are a very important source of data for Amazon to recognize what a product is really valued for by customers. So I'll pass back to Chad actually to close out sort of a future opportunity here.
Yeah, a couple of things too is just to me it's again thinking of all the little things that add up and the ways to be prepared. And so as we think of that too, I think one of the major things is to be prepared and think about how it's going to turn into a pay-to-play platform, right? Like we've all seen this movie before, right? Like new awesome technology company comes out, is free and grows a big community, and then they have to figure out how to monetize it. And I think this will be kind of the similar path. And I think there's already people are already seeing where it's starting to land, right? Like it's used to enhance search, it's strategically located below ads right now, right? Like as we already started to see it. Google Marketing Live turned around and sent out this, I don't know, it was a couple months ago. They sent out a very specific video on how and where it's going to be used in BARD in the future, right? Like it was an example of planning a vacation to Hawaii and asking questions about a hiking trip, and then, oh, we need a backpack. And so through the AI interactions, it learned that it's talking about, hiking in Hawaii for kids, and it needs to be a backpack. And so lo and behold, very specific ads pop up. Excuse me. And those ads are absolutely driven from Google merchant feeds and feeds that you're feeding Google. And so this is a path that we know is coming and is already starting to happen. And so what that means is really paying attention to all of these signals, but also more importantly, paying massive attention to what data you are feeding engines specifically through feeds. Google merchant feed is going to be huge, and we also know that they're using AI to change the way that feeds are created, right? Like we have the promise of their new feed platform coming out early next year, and so making sure that those are clean and up to date is going to be massively important as answers start to have pay to play. And again, if you're starting to think of AI as a mega influencer, right, you can see how this is going to change things. Reading an article this morning, right, it's pointing out things of, well, what is going to change? Well, one, what's going to change is inventory is probably going to drop, right? Like Google can populate a lot of ads right now. Inventory is going to drop. Inventory is going to be way more specific to products, which means those places are going to be more competitive. Both of those two things mean that to place an ad is going to cost a lot more in the future, which means you really have to focus on things for conversion rate optimization as you go into the future. And so when you spend $1 to place an ad, you have to make sure that it's going to return back. And the way that's going to happen is by providing as much clean, consistent information in your feed, but then also everywhere else on the internet. And that's going to be through what you're writing on your website, what you're putting into reputation places, what you're putting in reviews. And again, I get it all the time. What we can't control what people write in reviews. Well, you can, because you name your product, right? Like people are going to start their review off with the name of the product, right? Like that could be a very strategic decision for you based off of search trends, so that you can have a huge impact on it. The way you send a reminder for a review also can impact, share with us what you thought about this product. Specifically, was it kid-friendly enough? Well, I just prompted somebody to talk about kid-friendliness in a review. So think about all of those things. Am I blowing your mind with all of these things? No, I don't think I am. I know you guys have all thought about these in one way or another as you've gone about your job. I am hoping that what you're hearing from me right now is a push to think, take a second look at it, think a little bit deeper, because I think for us to be on the forefront of what AI is going to deliver and how they're going to deliver it, it's going to require that. But I also think the reward for doing that sooner rather than later is going to pay off massively. So like I said, my hope and desire is to have this start a conversation across the net and spark some conversations around it. We can go to the next slide.
Yep.
So to make that hopefully a little bit easier, we wanted to provide a checklist, right, of things that we're already thinking about for our clients. Hey, is your information right here? Have you gone to look at this lately? Right? Have we updated this? And so put it all in one spot for you guys to hopefully kind of, create a checklist. I know also Google has another checklist they've put out for how to get ready for the AI revolution, and that is really geared towards tracking and feeding information for your AI to be a better assistant to you. Think of this as a way to hopefully influence AI, how to influence this mega influencer that is only growing in popularity every day. And so again, I hope this is a useful tool for you guys. You can hit that QR code, download it. If you come up with any hiccups, any challenges, feel free to reach out to us, hit our website and reach out, and we'd love to kind of just, like I said, use this, develop it. If you have ideas of stuff we've missed, like I'm under no massive illusion that this conversation is done. We're going to keep adding to it, and I hope you guys will help us add to it. So please reach out to us if you have anything to add, or you've thought of anything else that I think should be on that list. We'd be honored to have that conversation with you and be thankful for the help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking about something you were just talking about before, Chad, with the paid media and the inventory maybe a little more constrained in that model. I think the upside there is, and this is true whether we're talking about paid search on Google, but also retail media as well, is that these models are retaining some information about what we've searched for in the past. And certainly think about a company like Amazon, which has so much data already about our household makeup, our interests, what we've researched but haven't purchased, and things like that, that although the inventory might be smaller and that might drive higher prices, we may also benefit from a lot more ability to do contextual targeting as well, where we have, maybe there are less ad serve, but they are to more to more high intent audiences ultimately.
No, I think we're already even seeing the shift to awareness as a marketing function. I think we're already kind of seeing some of that shift.
Yeah.
PMax on Google, the ad delivery method has taken a lot of kind of levers away, and so again, it's doing a really good job of picking up and making sure that people are ready to purchase. Right? But getting those things started, I can see people, I've seen clients already going more top of the funnel, CTV, different, Amazon has got a huge DSP platform that I think I've seen a lot of people derive a lot of benefit out of. Not only that, but then also doubling down on the things you can control. So conversion rate testing on your website, again, is a good way to start making sure you're ready for AI. And that has nothing to do with teaching AI or influencing AI. It has everything to do with making sure you're making the most of that dollar as things get more expensive. So yeah, like I said, just great, lots of things to think about.
Yeah, excellent. So we're almost about to wrap up here. So in addition to the checklist that Chad shared, we also have put together a much more in-depth white paper discussing in a lot more detail the headlines that we've shared today. We just really wanted to give a taste of our thinking so far on this topic, and there's a lot more to dig into in this document, which you'll get immediately after the webinar. Feel free to share it around. as well. And so just want to leave you with one thing. I love what Chad said at the top of the call, which is, as marketers, we've seen these waves of different technology and trends in how people are making buying decisions over time. And we're at the very, start of this new wave of people making buying decisions and doing research through conversational AI. And, that's saying the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, the next best time to plant a tree is today. That's what we are really thinking about here at Acadia, is getting ready for this new way that people are going to be interacting with technology to make buying decisions. So based on what we already know now and a little bit of reading the tea leaves, we've got a little bit of what it takes, we think, to get started. And just finally, if you're not super familiar with Acadia, we are a modern digital marketing agency obsessed with your growth. And this is one of many big things that we think about and collaborate with our clients on, is not just what is working now and what's worked for the last few years, but what is going to be important to focus on next in order to keep your business relevant amongst your target audience. So do reach out to us through our website, or any one of us on the call if you have questions or would like to chat about this a little more. But thank you to Chad, Scott, Margot. Been great to work with you on this project, and to everyone else on the call, happy Wednesday and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.